I believe women are being socially engineered to hate men, and men are being socially engineered to be gay. Don't at me. It's just what I see. I've picked up on it. They're just making men more and more effeminate, encouraging effeminate behavior. And so to further that initiative, there's been a movement originally started by, you guessed it, a psychoanalyst, and that movement is called Single Mothers by Choice. And I'm going to let you hear about that on a recent CBS episode in which they were celebrating Mother's Day. And so they decided to do that by showing single mothers by choice.
This has to be the dumbest woman on the face of the earth. Like, this is such a stupid statement, and to once again attack the bodies and choices of women, like, what are you talking about? Why do you even care? Why are you even invested in someone else's choices? And if you're going to have a conversation about women who choose to have a baby by design versus women who are single mothers by default, where we would have conversations about a lot of these men out there who choose to abandon these kids and force the mothers into situations where they are single parents. Why aren't we having that conversation? Why are we once again making women the villains here?
Take a listen.
In honor of Mother's Day this Sunday, we're taking a look at a growing trend in motherhood, women becoming single moms by choice.
I said to myself, in 15 to 20 years, would I be more upset that I didn't have a kid or more upset that I didn't fall in love and get married? And I was like, if I didn't have a kid, for me, I feel like my life wouldn't be as fulfilled.
But you do wonder, and I'm just going through this in my head right now, what about the men that are being raised in those environments? So mom decides to be a single mom. She picks, in America, you can choose gender. I'm going to have boys only. How do those men fare in society? Well, take a listen to one such case.
Brothers Mackenzie and Cooper Schoenthaler were chosen by their mother, a doctor, more than 2 decades ago. She had them at 41 and 45 using the same donor.
Didn't see our parents cry, and scream and throw things, and because there weren't two parents.
How has that impacted your own relationships by not seeing tension, by not seeing people work through those same things that you spoke of?
I think that I am more conflict avoidant than other people as a result, because I was raised in a household with zero conflict. Perhaps that's one of the drawbacks.
Gay.
Did she just call this man gay? Like, Candace needs to go outside and count clouds, because something is clearly amiss here. The fact of the matter is, it's not who parents, but how you parent. Whether it's a single mom, a single dad, whether it is a 2-parent household, 2 moms, 2 dads. What you pour into the child is ultimately what you get out of that child. So this notion that somehow a single mother is going to emotionally damage a child is completely asinine, and she can't be that ignorant.
Sorry to say it. But, and by the way, I'm being 90s gay. Just not cool. It's not cool to raise men not to be men. There is an element, okay, of being a man that is attributed to aggression. Aggression is not a bad thing. Now, these new psychoanalysts will try to convince you it is, but it's not. It's natural.
Okay? Now, maybe it's just me, but based on the way that she communicates, I would assume, if I were to employ her logic, that she was raised by men, because she comes across very aggressive, very masculine in her energy.
It is a biological instinct for men to be aggressive. When I tell you that my son wakes up in the morning, grabs a sword, finds my husband, wants to fight, wants to beat him up, you see this and you go, this is phenomenal. And the reason why that...
I just had to interrupt one more time, and then I'm going to let her complete the rest of this diatribe that she's on. But the reason we have mass pew-pewings in schools is because of logic like this, because you want men who are not emotionally conditioned to deal with those emotions, and that has to come out someplace. So the next time there's a mass pew-pewing, remember this.
It's natural is because men are supposed to go out and defend. Okay, they're not supposed to be sitting in a classroom learning about their feelings and 76 genders that they can choose from. Okay, they are biologically inclined to protect and to defend. And so now what they're doing is they're removing that. And of course, like I said, that is going to be the circumstance when you have them surrounded by women, because I just think, wow, if I was raising my son alone, every time he comes at me with that little plastic sword, the first thing I say is, I don't want to fight. Come find mommy when you want to hug, when you want to be nurtured, okay? So what's happening is you have these female breeders, so to speak, who are breeding that out of men. And let me tell you something right now, there is no society that can survive without strong men. And I think that, of course, is the purpose, to make sure that there is no threat that the government needs to perceive as they take over every element of our lives. How do they do this? Well, the first thing is you have to sort of have someone that very rationally explains to you why this is actually really a good thing. Take a listen.
So people have this idea that being a single mom by choice, which is using a donor to have a baby on your own, is like this wild thing. It's so outlandish and crazy. But today was just a reminder because we're going to visit my grandmother's grave. And she was a mom of 6. She ended up being a single mom later in life. She lost 2 of her children way too young. But it's just a reminder that life just goes by like this. And if we allow the judgments and opinions and perceived judgments even of the people around us or people we don't even know to dictate the way we live our lives, we're selling ourselves so short. If you feel called to have a family of your own, even though you're not married or doing it the traditional way, stop being hard on yourself. You deserve to create the life that you want despite those circumstances. Okay? Life is freaking short, man. It goes by like this.
And that, my friends, is how young, impressionable minds, she's a bit older, brain is developed. I think your brain develops about around the age of 26, 27. And people whose brains are not developed, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, are watching that and they find their asylum. You have people who have their whole life ahead of them and could meet someone and start a family and offer that child the best chance at life. Statistically speaking, rationally and spiritually speaking, your child is going to be infinitely better off if they grow up in a stable 2-parent environment. But then they've got these people telling them that, like, you know, you just choose it. Just make a decision by yourself. You're big. And she sounds rational. She's saying, like, life is short. Everybody loves that. You put that on a bumper sticker. Life is short. Have a kid without a father. And they listen to that. And then somebody speeds that up and tries to make it look like cool and funny. And here's an example of just that.
I'm a single mom by choice. Of course, all my daughter's weird quirks are from her donor. I'm a single mother by choice. Of course, we're spending all the holidays with my side of the family. I'm a single mom by choice. Of course, I'm my daughter's favorite parent.
So sweet. Of course I'm my daughter's favorite parent. Of course we're spending holidays at my parents' house. It's not funny. It's actually just not funny what they're actually doing here because they're making it cool and catchy, because that really shows how mature and well-rounded you are when you're trying to make being a single mother by choice boppy. Like just throwing some music behind it and using a bunch of flashes and, oh my God, look how great my day is being a single mother by choice. I have 0 regrets. This is so great. This is awful. It really is awful. It's simply just a fad. And it is a fad that is going to impact your child no matter what you think, right? No matter what you believe. But I'm a well-rounded person. I make good money. Your child is missing out when they don't have a second parent. You know, it shouldn't be a choice to deprive them of that. The nuclear family is the best guard. It is godly, it is wholesome, and it is the best guard that we have against extreme governance. And so when you see these sorts of things, you know, you should obviously exercise extreme compassion for the women who have been brought toward this point in their life, but also recognize that it is, whether you want to accept it or not, a tremendous evil.